Yeah.
Today is March 15th, 2016, and this is an interview with Witchaven by Nick Perkel. Now, can you each introduce yourselves and tell me how much input each of you have when it comes to songwriting?
I'm Henry. I play rhythm guitar, and I do vocals.
My name is Erik Sneve. I'm lead guitar and Quincy Jones.
Yeah. So really the way it works is I usually come up with a couple of riffs, or, well actually no, it's not just me. Really what happens is, me and this guy, we sit together at a garage, we sit with our amps on, we play video games for hours. I either come up with a riff or he comes up with a riff. Most times I'll come up with something like basically the basic riff, and then he'll literally make the riff even better and formulate it, and like he said, Quincy Jones it, so he puts it together. We make the formula, we make the structure. I literally throw out stuff and he'll put it together and he'll say, this is better this way, this is faster this way, and then that's basically how it goes. And that's how the newest album we've done, it's all between me and him. It really truly comes out, it was me and him, 50%, just getting fucking shit-faced, drinking whiskey, smoking mad weed, and playing endless video games. A lot of Xbox 360 and that shit.
That shit, it comes down to something as simple as like, we have 3 riffs in a song, it's almost there, we want an intro, and then we think, well fuck man, like how are we gonna whip an intro out of our asses? And then we just sit there and start jamming on YouTube playlists. And one of them, I mean, we straight up just listened to Goodbye Horses.
Yeah, Goodbye Horses.
From Q Lazarus.
Yeah, Q Lazarus. And we're like, that's so fucking black metal.
Black metal and sad and heavy. We just figured out what chords they were, and we just we developed an intro off of that song. So, I mean, that kind of stuff happens.
And then another coolest part about that, me and the process of writing, is sometimes me and Erik will come up with like 3 riffs, perfect 3 riffs, but we don't have a beginning, we don't have an outro, and we don't have a middle part. And funny enough, we'll have just enough to have some structure. And then eventually, we'll get shit-faced, we'll play video games, eventually we'll play video games till like the dawn, like 3 o'clock in the morning, pass the fuck out. I'll wake up, and it's about time for me to leave. I go to a garage, and I start packing up all my shit, and then I'll just be like, hey, wait a sec. And we'll either me or him will just come up with a riff, and then finally the song's done. So it literally could take one night. We go to sleep, we wake up with a fresh mind, and then boom, the rest of the song's finished. So that's how a lot of the new shit's been done, and that's how it's been going now. I mean, Blood Sacrifice was different because a lot of those songs from Blood Sacrifice I wrote them, and I kind of went through them because I was going through a situation with the law and all of that shit. So that's why maybe Blood Sacrifice is a little off, you know, not necessarily completely true to Witchaven. But this time we really returned to form, and we're just fucking striking it to the head. You know?
Another thing with Blood Sacrifice is the fact that there was a 4.5-year span between Terrorstorm and that album.
Yeah.
Which that all happened. I mean, we all went through some shit. I almost died in a car accident before we went on the first tour that I was on. Everybody went through some shit in those 3.5, 4 years, whatever it was.
So the album's kind of like an emotional outburst, as opposed to this next newest album is more of an aggression and a fucking display of just fucking
anger and violence.
Yeah, anger and violence.
Got mad again.
Yeah, we're really mad this time.
So would you say it's the true spiritual successor to Terrorstorm?
It's actually, you know, it is indeed the true spirit. It is truly Terrorstorm Part 2. Blood Sacrifice is more of we need to get it out of our system. But this next one, Esoteric Agenda, is truly Terrorstorm Part 2. This should definitely be our second album. Blood Sacrifice, I mean, I love the fuck out of the album. I love the songs, but it was just more of an emotional outreach. But this time, it's just fucking full throttle aggression. It is exactly what everyone who loved about Terrorstorm, but tenfold, you know.
Now, with your album Terrorstorm, a lot of the emotion and inspiration behind that were feelings about 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
Will you be writing about any of the terror attacks that hit different places around last year?
Yeah, of course. We got songs about basically San Bernardino, my town, where I live, you know. Fucking, my girlfriend had an appointment at that same building that same day. Her therapist called her and told her, don't come because there's a shooting. And she said, but you know, this is how it transpired. Basically, I was chilling in my room with my girlfriend. She lives with me, and we're just hanging out. And she asked me, hey, Henry, can you give me a ride to my appointment today? And I said, of course. Anyways, the therapist called and said, hey, you know, there seems to be a shooting. There seems to be some guy outside shooting. And I don't know, if you want to come, go ahead, but I'm just letting you know. And I told my girlfriend, you know, it's San Bernardino, it's probably some fucking gang. Fuck those guys.
Dumbass.
Yeah, like, doesn't matter. Like, gang shit, if we're not part of the gang, it doesn't matter. Eventually, right before we were about to leave, the therapist calls again, hey, you know, guess what? She tells me, you can't come anymore. I'm under my desk, I'm under my table, and this whole building's locked down. I advise you to not come over here. And we're like, whoa.
It would be a good idea if you don't come.
What's going on? We turn on the television, boom, it's everywhere. And it's like, what? This is going on in my backyard. What the hell's going on? So, of course, we have all of that. It's like it's so much food, it's so much anger, it's so much just inspiration to bring out everything forth. And that's what Esoteric Agenda is all about. And that's why we named it Esoteric Agenda, because there is a lot of hidden agendas within everything that's transpiring in recent events.
So what kind of major development in the Witchaven camp have occurred since releasing Blood Sacrifice?
Well, you know, a lot of major developments is we had our friend Frank join the band, but he was a tattoo artist and his career has really launched off, so now he's no longer playing with us. Mostly because, you know, it really doesn't, his life career doesn't necessarily line up with the band's touring, you know, and as Witchaven, we plan on touring a lot, you know. And this is probably one of the biggest tours we've ever taken forth, you know, which is about a month and a half. We're doing the whole country, basically, practically hitting all 48 lower states. And, you know, besides that, it's just we've learned a lot from ourselves, you know, we've learned a lot. There was even a moment where, you know, where we were even the three-piece. Erik was like, oh man, yeah, I know I can't do it anymore. But then, you know, seriously though, through a lot of that, through Blood Sacrifice, and man, Blood Sacrifice, see, there's so much to Blood Sacrifice, because I was in jail, and I had to deal with that shit. And not only did I just get out of jail and deal with the court system, one of our dearest friends from our band, unfortunately, I will say he committed suicide, and it fucking blew our minds.
It was terrible.
Blew our minds.
Terrible thing.
And I remember that moment when Erik just called us and told us, "Fuck this, man! I'm back in the band. Let's do this right." I could feel the emotion. We were all just like raw. It was sore, you know. It was just an emotional outreach. We realized, man, what's important? We only have each other, and you realize the few of friends you have. That's really. I feel like since then, as Witchaven, we've grown together. It's more of a family thing now. You know, it's like much more. If someone needs to take a time off, then fuck yeah, let's take the time off. You know, we'll only do what we need to do that's appropriate for everyone in the band. You know.
Now, you got like an EP's worth of songs for a release you're promoting called Predetermined Democide. Tell me about this.
Predetermined Democide. So, Predetermined Democide is a play on words. Pre-demo. That's what I'm trying to get at. Which way basically is a demo of a couple of songs of our upcoming album, Esoteric Agenda. Me and Erik put a lot of the songs on Esoteric Agenda together, and a couple of the songs are also from a 12-inch split that we're doing with Rasquatch. And some songs. Oh, we also put Supermax and Products of Imprisonment, songs that we put on the 7-inch split.
Just a 7-inch.
Yeah, just a 7-inch, right? And it only came out on vinyl. It's never been in digital format. You can't listen onto it on the computer. It's only on the fucking, you know.
Are any of those really fucking old songs, like say Circle of Shadows, are they reworked in any ways?
No,
there was. I remember because how the writing style for Witchaven used to be was, you know, I mean, it's using metal musical terminology. You'd have one entire riff, and you repeat it a certain amount of times for a chunk. Back in the day, when we weren't quite as good with our ears and fucking hearts in that sense, things would go on for a very, very long time. It'd be 16 repeats here, 16 repeats there, and everything's always by a multiple of 4.
Yeah.
So it was like, did we do Blasphemous Cunt, or did we do Circle of Shadows?
Circle of Shadows, a couple of ones. And Erik is the mastermind. He's the Quincy Jones of our band. Like he says no. we're doing this riff too many times. He cuts it down and he breaks it to fold and he makes it just perfect.
Sometimes 8 is better and sometimes it's 4 better, where every single one was a 16 repeat. So instead of 5.5 minutes, it's 3.5, where
but the feeling is all there. The feeling's still there. The riff is still the same. The vocals are still the same.
It's a better version of the old song, basically. It's just a lot smoother. There's no dead space, none of that. So
yeah.
You want to speak about any of the other songs on that album?
Well, basically, thrash. We're doing the songs with thrash squats. And we have a song called Pacific. There's a couple of songs that we wanted on the new album, but we kind of spared because they
didn't quite fit the aesthetic of what that album felt like.
Because Pacific and Homeless are kind of strays, and those are strays from the Blood Sacrifice era, and they're kind of a little different. They kind of have the same feeling, you know. And so we decided to put on the split, you know. But they don't really fit the mold of what Esoteric Agenda is. Esoteric Agenda is it's full throttle, aggressive, hyper speed. It's the perfect mold of just black metal, thrash, and D-beat hardcore, and of course punk. Just fucking put together.
Can you tell me a little bit about Pacific and Homeless? I've never heard of Pacific, but I know about Homeless from YouTube.
Pacific is basically, man, it's probably one of our most black metal songs out there, hands down. It's slow, it's fast, but it's slow. I mean, there's no way to describe it until you listen to it.
There's a raging guitar solo in the beginning of the
end. And the solos. Erik really could, that's what it was. Erik wrote most of the songs.
That was the first, honestly, the first song, when we started doing the session for Blood Sacrifice. I was like, hey, I got some riffs and a guitar solo.
Yeah, and it is probably one of our strongest songs, I believe. It's probably one of the most passionate songs. It has true power, I feel.
Oddly gangster rap in its lyrical content too. It's weird.
Pacific's more instead of just calling it West Coast or something, but it's definitely about the tribulations of growing up in suburban Los Angeles, California area with none of the benefits of being able to succeed. So.
Good way to put it.
Yeah. Okay, now is there a theme or overall message you feel is developing with these songs as a real blanket statement on the whole album?
Seriously, the theme continues the same. A lot of people ask us, what do you think about Donald Trump? What do you think about Bernie Sanders? And I just tell them, it's all bullshit, man. It's all a lie. Nothing has changed in our minds in the sense that I remember learning about this shit as a young child and still thinking this is all the same. This is all a puppetry. It's all fucking, none of this shit matters. We're still, let me just tell you, no matter who the fuck becomes president, who the fuck is in office, the fucking prison industrial complex still exists, the National Reserve still fucking exists, and none of that shit's gonna change. And until we realize that, the true tribulation, the shit that's holding us down, we're still fucking lost. And that's exactly the message continues to be the same.
Shit, it's been a puppet show since JFK got
assassinated. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I'm not one to really speak because I wasn't around in the 70s and early 80s and stuff, but I mean, as far as any history book that I've ever been taught out of and read says it's been Coke versus Pepsi since the 60s. I mean, even before that, since the Federal Reserve became a fucking object in the country, which is unbelievable that it even fucking happened, but it totally did, and that's what we fucking deal with today.
Yeah, exactly.
Money is just a kind of an idea, and hopefully it fucking holds its value and shit, so.
Will you be continuing on with Greyhaven Media for this next release?
For this next release, we truly want to expand. Greyhaven Media was more of a thing as our buddies, Brian and Wayne, and they're dear
amazing dudes,
great
amazing
friends.
guys.
And we were in a situation where we had Blood Sacrifice. We needed to put it out of the system. The songs themselves were actually kind of a year old already. So, like Erik said, it took us 4 years to put it out, but the album was actually done within 2.5 years. And it was just simmering and sitting down, and we didn't have the means to put it out. But these guys, the dear friends, were like, well, we'll put it together, we'll bring out the money, and we'll make it happen. Let's put it out. And so that's why we went through them. But at this point, we're also trying to continue and evolve and try to distribute our music more to the masses. So in this sense, we're trying to get Esoteric Agenda more shopped around and hopefully maybe get it put out through maybe our friends Poor Kids Radio, who have a lot of connections but if not, maybe like someone like Hell's Headbangers or Tank Crimes or someone along those lines. If hopefully they're willing to work with us, hopefully we can put that album out.
Now, for people on the East Coast that aren't familiar with Poor Kids Media, can you tell me a bit about those guys?
Poor Kids Radio, basically, let me break it down. Poor Kids Radio started off as an original, old school. They come from the 80s, 70s. Like, they are
traditional hardcore.
Hardcore. They basically are a punk rock gang. What happened was, in the 80s and 70s, there was gangs, fucking Mexican gangs, Salvadorian gangs,
metal gangs,
the Crips and the Bloods, but then the punks, obviously they're like black. The punks, obviously, there's no cultural color. We're punks, what I mean? We're fucking rockers, So you're fucked. You're black wearing a leather jacket, or you're Mexican with a mohawk, and it's like, it's fucked. Fuck you, fuck those guys. So the gangs, the cholos, beat the fuck out of these guys, and they said, we've had enough. And so they started their own gangs, and that's what happens a lot in LA. You get oppressed, and then you have to fight back, and that's how a lot of gangs started in LA. And Poor Kids is one of those gangs. They were actually not called Poor Kids Radio. They were in fact friends of rich kids on LSD, but obviously they weren't rich, so they called themselves Poor Kids on LSD. And that's where it comes from. All of that old school. And there's so much root, so much deepness, there's so much history. Cypress Hill, the Misfits, Danzig, fucking Scum, and like Deftones, Fear Factory, all of these groups and bands, they're all involved in Poor Kids history and culture. They all are part of that. So it's a lot of stuff. And really, because of that, that's why they have so many connections, and they're our friends. Truly, they are the ones who have catapulted us into any fucking position to do what we're doing. It's all thanks to them.
At the very least, they were the initiating factor to what we got going on now. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. So
they're the reason we've got any type of clout, if there is any,
Exactly.
Now, can you tell me about what the West Coast metal scene going up from LA to Portland and Seattle is like, and throw out some real aggressive punk and metal bands that you guys are friendly with?
Man, let me tell you,
there's too many on the West Coast.
There's so many bands now, but the most beautiful part is, I remember when we first started touring, it was all metal. If we wanted to play shit, it was metal. But these days, man, one of the most beautiful things, and I kind of been seeing it out here in the East Coast, especially in Philly, is that metal and punk have finally, in the first time I believe, just destroyed the border. It's like when you go to the West Coast, you literally could be the only metal band in all punk bands, and it rages the fucking same, dude.
Chances are it'll rage harder than a bunch of metalheads.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it'll be a fucking wave at a party.
And these days, man, like the metal punk scene is massive in the West Coast. It's like everyone's got studs, everyone's rocking Barookers and like Slayer, Dark Throne. It's fucking amazing, dude.
It's all
and everyone's just bringing that culture together. We finally started realizing, hey, Exodus kind of sounds like The Exploited. Holy shit, It's fucking righteous, and there's so many bands. I mean, to me, it like the West Coast stretches out to like Texas. So like we got bands from like Austin, like Warface, bands like Steel Bearing Hand, which are basically a bunch of punk rockers playing death thrash. Fucking over here in our lands in LA, we got bands like Temple of Dagon. I'm finally joined them in. I'm like playing rhythm guitar, kind of just a backup dude, And then, we got bands like Fog of War on the Bay, and fucking Portland, you got fucking shit,
Vastation. Formerly Night Nurse.
Night Nurse, yeah, like, man, shit.
Anything Brandon says,
Brandon Gold. Yeah. The boys Ray, what's his band?
Cemetery Lust.
Cemetery fucking Lust. You know what I mean? It's just fucking, it's exploding out in the West. It's really happening right now. So yeah, fuck yeah.
Now, I got to visit Portland last year to see Famine Fest, and the scene out there just fucking blew my mind. The show had a real good vibe, and the record stores there, like, say, Blackwater Records, are to die for.
Yeah.
What are some good memories you guys have from visits to Portland?
Shit, dude. What are the memories we don't have from Portland? Let me just tell you, these are the staples of every time we visit Portland: strip clubs. And here's the thing, I don't want to sound like a fucking sleazeball. Strip clubs, you know, you think of strip clubs, I would never go to a strip club in California, like my boy Erik was just about to say. We've never visited strip clubs in California. I visited a strip club in Texas and it was, it's kind of too sleazy. But in Portland, it's all party atmosphere. It's just party, you know, there's a place called RCS, Rose City Strip. And what they do, let me just tell you, let me just paint a picture. I was sitting there. I had my PBR, which I bought for $1. Where's my patch right here? Right here. Rose City fucking Strip, right there in red.
You got that patch, you get $1 pass.
$1 pass at Rose City Strip. And fucking, I got a fucking pint of $1 pass. I'm sitting there, man, and you know what's playing? Playing in the background? Fucking Morbid Angel, fucking Lion's Den. And there's just this chick just fucking shaking her ass, and all my boys are there, we're just fucking raging. And you know, it's just a fucking blast, man. And Portland is just a great place. Like, there's so much culture, it's so much goodness. But you know, thinking about it now, tell you the truth, that's all fine and dandy, and that's what's part about now. But seriously, there was a part of Portland that used to be a lot more wild back in the day. When we first started going out, and there was this place called the Esoteric Agenda, which was a fucking marvelous venue. It was the first time, I remember when we were in LA, we'd play venues and no one gave a fuck about us. But one day we went out to Portland, played to 5 people. The year after that, we went out and played the Esoteric Agenda. The place was fucking packed. It was fucking exploding. And there's so many memories. I remember Portland was when there wasn't so many transplants out there. Because nowadays there's a lot of transplants. Everyone
moved there. Everybody moved there.
Yeah, everyone moved to Portland. But I remember when no one moved to Portland. It was only Portland's, Oregonians. And it was a fucking marvelous place. But man, Portland, there's so much to say. It continues to be a marvelous place.
I mean, on top of all of that, it's the simple fact that we've got some of the closest friends we've ever fucking had. Like, band friends, personal friends, like our friends at Spellcaster.
Yes.
They've put us up, I mean,
so many times.
I don't like the past like 6 or 7 Portland trips. I'd say
Bryce, Corey, Gabe, fucking Brandon Stench, fucking Ray from
Jared,
Cemetery Lust, fucking
cool
Nasty Nate. How many fucking motherfuckers you got out there? Fucking our best friend Ryan. God damn,
from my neighborhood down in
so many fucking friends. Like, it continues. Fucking Metal Mike, fucking Pinkzilla dude, Skylar, Frank, like goddamn Donna. Man, so many friends. Portland is the place to be.
It's a beautiful fucking place, and it's so small, and it's
so small,
so tight.
So tight.
I mean,
so many friends.
And like Zach too. Zach.
Zach from fucking Nuts Vomica. Yes.
It's awesome.
Fuck yeah.
Bangers and mash till I die because of that motherfucker, man. I mean, like, yeah, it's like that, you know. We just like we go glossy eyed and think about all the cool times.
We could sit here all day over some shots and a bottle of whiskey, and we could go all day about Portland.
Portland's a beautiful place.
Now, speaking of which, you got anything really fucking cool planned for your appearance next month at the Northwestern Black Circle Fest?
Basically, really, you know what it is? We are doing this tour, and we're honing in all our new songs and just honing in our set, and I feel like we're finally hitting a stride. And most of the time we go out to Portland and we're a little like rusty, a little sloppy. You know, we only got a week of touring into us, and then we make it out there. Yeah, but by the time we make it out there, our fucking sound, our fucking performance is gonna be like flawless. Because I mean, obviously we practiced for a full month throughout the whole country, and we're gonna make it out there. So we're gonna continue to do our business and present ourselves the way we have presented ourselves, either in New York, New Jersey, Philadelphia, Minnesota. We're gonna bring it down to Portland, and we're gonna show our brand of thrash metal. So fuck yeah.
Now, I'm a real big collector, you guys. I was wondering, besides like mixtapes, compilation appearances such as Curse from the Past, What a Dirty Business, and that Relapse 7-inch for Awaken the Curse, can you throw out some other cassette and CD rarities for the real crazy hardcore fans of Witchaven?
Well, if you want some rare shit that's coming down now, right now, we're only putting predetermined demo sites out for this tour right now. So if you're not at our shows this tour right now, you're never gonna get it. Because we're not gonna syndicate it. I'm not gonna put it out again. And that's basically it. And our fucking split with Thrash Squatch. We're only gonna make 1,000 vinyls,
Super
and that's
rare.
it. You got it, and you got it. If you didn't, you never had it.
There's a couple of other releases too that are super cut, and I mean, one of them is Sacrificial Burnt Offering. I mean,
Yep.
that was a little bit more known because it's kind of recent, but that was one press. I don't think it ever got pressed again.
No, and it probably will not be pressed
No,
again.
probably never. I mean, it was a rare ass little piece of vinyl. And then
We
the
were-
old tape,
yeah.
the Vehemence of Attack, man.
Yeah,
Remember that
those
shit?
old shit.
That shit is fucking impossible.
You'll never
Like, good
get those.
fucking luck.
You'll
That's
never
like a
get those.
Discogs if you're, I don't even know. I don't even fucking know where you can find that, man.
Yeah, man. And we've also fortunately been, our buddies in Warbring and Ex Morris really pushed us to be on the compilation that they released while they were on tour with Enforcer. And it was like 50 copies for every show, and they really put it out there. And so if you got a copy of one of those, that's basically, we're on that. If you didn't get it, you know. that's it.
Good luck finding it.
Yeah.
And I guess, can you throw out some real cool print zines or radio shows that you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I just did a print zine. Our fucking homie Gabe from Denver. He plays in a band called Gomorrah, and he does Black Flame magazine.
It's one of the monster truck covers.
Yeah. Check out Black Flame magazine from fucking Denver, man. The homeboy Gabe Slaughter, the motherfucker. He's OG as fuck. He's younger than us, dude. Way younger than us, but motherfucker has initiative. He puts it down. He fucking makes the magazine happen. He sells the shit on Hell's Headbangers. So if you want that shit, check out hellsheadbangers.com or whatever it is. And he's got his shit on there. Black Flame magazine, man. That guy's fucking righteous, dude.
Now, tell me about the merch you guys that you're carrying right now, as well as when you finally get back to the West Coast and you really restock, you know?
Basically, the merch remains the same. You know, one of the things that I've always wanted to be with this band is consistency, and our shirts have always been the black rash shirt with demon goats. It's basically everything that we've got done, and like maybe one or two shirts that we've designed ourselves, but basically everything that we got done by Sickness 666, who is an artist from Thailand, Malaysia area, you know, fucking that area of Asia. That guy he blows my mind, you know, because when I first got his artwork, I thought he was just like some young guy like me, you know, just some dude, you know, but no, he's a professor out there. He does so much. He's an actual teacher in Asia, you know. I mean, this guy has students. He's a learned man.
Is he connected with the university?
Yeah, he is part of a university out there. He's a professor.
Full-on professor.
And he does so much, you know, and this guy's such an intelligent man. And he continues to do our artwork, and we will never work with anyone else except for him. And
as far as true official releases,
yeah,
you're concerned, it's Sickness all the way.
Sickness all the way, and fuck yeah, that's him.
Now, can you throw out some badass Mexican gangster movies, man?
One fucking movie, one badass goddamn good ass Mexican fucking gangster shit is fucking Blood In, Blood Out. And it's basically about Miklo.
Milk feeding the boys.
It's basically, and it is a true personification of what is reality in California. It's a lot of people, you know, let me just break it down like this. A lot of people say like this whole fucking like white privilege and all this shit. I don't know if you've ever lived in California, if you've ever been to California, but the majority of everyone in California goes like this. Top of the ranks, the majority of the population is Hispanic brown. Boom. Second in rank is fucking blacks. Just a lot of African Americans. Boom. Third in rank is actually maybe tied is white and Asian. So anytime there's white people in anywhere in California, they are the minority. Not like out anywhere else in America. In California, if you're white, you're the minority. And that's why Blood In, Blood Out really brings that out. Because it's about Miklo. He's like, they call him milkweed. He's like fucking, his mom was white, his dad was Mexican, he grows up in the hood, you know, and he has to acclimate himself into reality, you know. What is he gonna do? He's gonna continue and act? No, fuck no. You know, he's gotta live his life. He's gotta be his thing, you know. And that is the reality of California. And that's why when people talk about all this shit, it's so construed, you know. America talks about the shit. You see shit in CNN. That shit ain't real, dude. That shit ain't fucking real, man. It's like, it's real. It's like California is a whole other country. It's a whole other world, dude.
Southern California in particular, it's just something different, man. Like, I know, like, in high school, in my particular high school, I don't know, I mean, that's the only one I ever went to, but obviously I'm a white dude, and I was constantly fucking picked on when I was in, like, 9th grade. It was, like, that's personally why I really relate with that movie in particular, because motherfucking Miklo had to go through some crazy shit. He had to do some wicked shit to make sure that he had his fucking place established. I was never trying to be a thug or nothing like that, but in high school, man, I had to do some, well, I probably didn't have to, but I did some fucking rough-ass shit just to make sure that people stopped fucking with me, because when I was a freshman, and every other Mexican kid in the entire school, which was like 80% of the population in my neighborhood, was just like, oh, fucking white boy, you fucking white bub, you know, over and over. It just got to a point. It just came to a head. I held some scissors up to the kid's neck and told him to fuck off. And at that point, I never got fucked with again throughout the rest of high school. And fortunately, I did that shit. But I mean, it's one of those things where I've had too many people across the country, thanks to the fucking internet and how short the distance is between California and New York, thanks to the internet, is that somebody will comment about white privilege, and I'll say a comment about white privilege, and the fact that I've never really experienced it in my fucking life.
I've never seen it. I've never seen it.
Somebody tries to fucking tell me how it goes in fucking Mira Loma, California, which is not a place that most people know even exists. And I guarantee you that I've missed out on jobs simply because I'm a white man. Whereas I may be in other places that doesn't work out the same, but I mean, up in our neighborhood, that's just fucking day-to-day life. You know, you're a white dude, you're kind of at a serious disadvantage in a lot of ways because people want Mexican dudes or a white girl or something like that.
That's why that movie Blood In, Blood Out, dude, it's so true. It speaks mad truth.
That is Southern California to the fucking
true, dude. It's true. It's so fucking true. But in the end, though, seriously, though, we are all, as being a metalhead, being a punk rocker, we are all outcasts of our own culture. Because, you know, even being a Hispanic person myself, I had a lot of people give me a lot of shit, being like, what the fuck? Why do you listen to metal? Like,
you got a
what's wrong with you? Why do you got long hair? You know, when I was in jail, motherfuckers were telling me daily that I need to cut my hair off, and I resisted. And I continued to be myself. Because you know what? Fuck it. It doesn't matter the color of my skin. This is my fucking brother right here. We are fucking brothers. You know what I mean? We've been through the bullshit together. Shit. You know what I mean?
If you want to put it in simple terms, when we broke down in Massachusetts, we were off the side of the highway, sitting on a curb, just thinking like, fuck, we gotta wait for AAA to come pick us up. And a truck full of white dudes rolls through and just goes, fucking fat, and drives off.
Because they didn't understand our color, they just saw our hair and thought of us as fucking fruits, you know?
The long-haired dudes that I guess that's each other's buttholes.
And in the end, that's what's beautiful about fucking metal and punk. That's truly what's beautiful, because you know, I've traveled this whole fucking country. I've been through this whole fucking country so far, and no one treats me like a fucking subhuman. No one's treated me like someone like I shouldn't be because of the color of my skin, and nothing. We've never received any of that bad treatment because we are true to ourselves. We are fucking real, man. I got my long hair, he's got his long hair. You know what I mean? And it's not even about the long hair. It's all about just being true to who we are. We love our shit, and we're not about fucking color or culture. We're about being ourselves and being true and being real fucking people. It doesn't matter what color you are.
It's beyond
the physical. It doesn't matter who the fuck you are.
Beyond the physical realm.
It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? We're fucking humans, and we're fucking metalheads, and we're fucking punks, and that's all that fucking matters. And I realize that's way more powerful than the mainstream media perceives that everything should be.
Than race or creed or anything like that.
And basically, that's our end of a message. You know?
Would you like to go back to any questions?
Basically, I'd just like to say, fucking thank you so much, Nick. You are the fucking man. Any of the questions that you really said were just precise and real good, and I just want to thank you for being a fucking real honest guy. Seriously, thank you.
I just hope our responses were good.
Yeah.
Final words.
Final words, and in the end, final words is, Nick, you are the fucking man. Thank you so much for having us on here. Fucking, like I said, fuck culture, fuck all this shit, fuck colors. It's all about fucking metal. It's all about fucking punk. It's all about perceiving and understanding shit is not black and white. Shit is just so much more than this bullshit that we perceive in our fucking world. Fuck Trump, fuck Bernie, fuck Hillary, fuck these people. They don't fucking give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about me, not him, not anyone. Nobody. We are the masters of our lives. So fuck yeah. Let's get this shit done, dude. Let's do it right.